Hey guys, so it's been quite a while, and I started this project the other day, but it's been raining a lot, so I'm finally going to do the filming of the beginning of this project. As you can see here, you have a wire sticking up. So what I did is I went ahead and put this pad here, and the motor will sit here, so the gear reaches this 2x4 here, where the rail will sit that will drive this gate back and forth. Now, I marked here holes here and here, and I have to drill them out, but I haven't because it's been raining so much, and this little concrete pad has been very slow at drying. So it's been about a week. So maybe this weekend I'll drill those holes and see how strong that concrete is. And then it'd be a matter of wiring the motor. There's the power, and then I have to put a infrared sensor here and at the other end of the gate, so that if you happen to go across while this gate's moving, it can turn off. Of course, it doesn't have to be you. It could be one of these characters from the street, anything. So yeah, we'll pick this project up later. We'll see what happens. And right now it's been raining every day and sometimes all day long. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Okay guys, so here we are again. Today is a good day. Partly cloudy, but there's a little bit of sun. It's not raining, so that's good. And what I did is I drilled those 4 holes there, and now Woon is going to tighten this up. Okay, so now Woon is going to tighten them things until it compresses the bottom of that anchor bolt there and squeezes it and jams it up against the cement down the hole. And then what we're gonna do, okay, do the next one.
Okay.
Those other 2, yeah. But do them by hand so that if they're loose on top, do it by hand.
No.
So then what we're going to do is take this,
Yeah, good job.
take this motor and bolt it onto that thing. Then the idea is to get this gear, do them even, so otherwise it'll bend that thing. Put it in here.
This,
Yeah, do one and then do the other one.
this.
Yeah. When it seems like it's going at an angle, that means that one is down and the other one's up. Then we're going to take and position this. And this is what sits on top of that gear. And then this is attached to the gate. Now, this kit doesn't come with nuts for here, and the reason for it is there would have to be many different kits because of the length of the bolt. If you put it on thin metal, thick metal, whatever, it would be a whole bunch of different bolts. Now, we're going to put it on this bottom rail, and that's a 2x4, but we're not going to use bolts to secure it to there. Only the bolt to secure it to the rail, the gear, the one that I just showed you, that will have a bolt securing that. The back side, I'm going to weld, put 2 or 3 tack welds on there just to hold it. It's not going to have a lot of pull and tug.
Just go down because here is have gap here.
Okay, I'm coming. So anyway, that's what we're doing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. We'll be back.
Right, so we put what you call this? A motor?
A motor, but the problem is we need to compress this, right? What it has is a little pipe with a screw going through there, and as you tighten this, it pulls up, and on the bottom it has a mushroom head that pushes this and it opens it up. The problem is we need to have, see this here? We need to have enough to accommodate this, but it's not enough there. The other side, it's not enough either. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a washer that's bigger round so that it can go to both sides of this thing here, and we'll just leave this out because this is a little thick and it's not compressing this enough.
We put that screw is too long, too far, or what?
No. It hasn't pulled that bolt through enough. So either we take this off and tighten it up again, right? So that yeah, let's do that. Let's try it one more time.
How about we just cut some cement out so it's
Yes, no.
no,
What we need to do?
because it seems like it's not level.
No, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. What the problem is this bolt needs to be pulled out more. So I didn't want to overdo it and then you have a problem with it anchoring, but it's not there yet. So go ahead and turn this off, and you take these like you did before and drive them down, and this time when you're done tightening, I'll come in here and tighten them up some more. Okay? Okay, so here we are some time later, and as you can see, we're still not done. The anchor bolts that came with this thing, I guess they're very thin and cheaply made. As you can see, they just disintegrated here. This was the top portion, and this was the bottom portion, and here you can see this little hole, and there was a cut coming down this way. Here's a hole, and there's the cut. Here's the hole, and there's the cut. But what this thing did, as you can see here, it cracked. This one cracked completely all the way to the top. And of course, the problem was that the anchor bolts did not anchor. Here's another one. Same thing happened, but it did not break the bottom. But as you can see, it cracked this it cracked this all the way up. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to have to go to the store and see about getting some better quality anchor nuts, or buy some bolts that are a little bit longer than this and epoxy them in, which probably would be a better idea to epoxy those than use the anchor bolts. Now, I've used those anchor bolts before with a thicker sleeve and they work just fine, but these right here are just way too flimsy. Alright guys, we'll show you what we did after we do it, but right now we need to go to the store and buy some anchor nuts or get some epoxy. Alright, okay guys, here we are again. We went to the store to buy new anchor bolts, and what they had was way too short. So I decided we would buy some bolts, put them in there and epoxy them. Didn't have anything that was long enough. So what we ended up doing is we bought some threaded rod and these little barrel looking things that actually expanded as the bolt went in. So it's kind of like an anchor bolt, but only towards the bottom, I guess. So what I'm going to do, we bought some steel epoxy that I will put inside those holes there to fill any spaces there, and then let it sit for a day or so, and then try to mount the motor on here. Now, the epoxy that is made for inserting bolts and stuff into concrete, all they had was this gigantic container that, you know, it was not cheap, and I was not going to buy to use a fraction of an ounce to do these 4 little bolts. So I bought this other epoxy. We'll see how it goes. Worst case scenario, it fills the areas around there, because at the bottom you have the little barrel expanding anchoring thing that will hold the bolts in there, and the epoxy will fill those holes so they don't have space to roam from side to side or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do here in a little bit. First I got to go see the chickens, and then we'll see how that works. Hopefully it'll work out. Alright. Okay, so there it is. If you look through there, you'll see a washer at the end, at the bottom, on both sides. And what I did is I put the epoxy in there, put some epoxy on the bottom of the washer, put it in there, pressed it down, and then I put this plate way on top so it preserves the spacing that I need. And right now it's just sitting there drying. It says that you can handle it in 30 minutes, but I think I'll give it a little longer because of the humidity. But as you can see, here you see stacks of washers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on the bottom of this thing, and I have already leveled the top of the washer from this side to this side, from this side to this side, all the way around. And yeah, So the front stacks belong to the front there, and the 2 stacks in the back belong back here in the back. So once I do that, then I can go ahead and put the motor in there and try to set the rail that goes here. Now the reason I'm putting these washers on here is because the motor has no provisions to insert the wire in there for the power unless you go in from the bottom. On the bottom of the motor there is a way to go up into the area where the rest of the wires are, but you need some space to put this in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this is the power wire here. I'm going to bend this to go underneath, and then once I get underneath, I'll feed the wire through there to where it's supposed to go and cut the excess pipe there, so that where the wire is going through, and then we'll go from there and see what happens. Yeah, I still have to, along the bottom here, I think if you can see this line here, that's where this is a very deep piece of cement. It's like 12-14 inches down, and what that does is supports the fence, but most importantly, if something heavy rolls over this thing, it has all that concrete to keep it from sinking. And it has worked so far, and hopefully it'll continue to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all along this line to come out here. And then what I will do is I will mount here, I will mount the infrared sensor, and then the wire will run just like I told you here. The other sensor will be mounted here, and then the wires will go underneath this little plate here, go up where the electrical wire goes, and connect to the top portion of the motor up here where all the wiring connections are made. And yeah, then once that happens, then it's just a matter of running the I don't know what it's called, the gear bar, and you set the motor on manual, and you will be able to move this without the electricity. And I will see how much of that stuff I need and where it needs to be, and of course I will weld it to here. Now down here at the end, I have to weld a little piece sticking out, because the first weld to that bar will be there right about where this is at. So the gear will be lined up with that, more or less, and then I have to weld a piece long enough for that bar to go there, and it will support it. Then, because you can actually roll this fence all the way to the back, pretty much even with the back of this gate here, I would either have to rework this to slide this over, and I would have to cut that part of concrete there so that this would open all the way down there, and that to me is not worth all the work. So what will happen is the little piece of metal that's going to go here to attach the gear bar, it's about 10 centimeters. So this gate here will be open about this much, which is only like 10 centimeters, which is not very much. But for safety, maybe give it 12, 14 centimeters to stay open. But anyway, the car is not going to be running that close to the pole here and to this little concrete thing in the column. If you're that close, you're gonna hit something. So I decided I'll weld the little thing here, and voila. All right, so let it dry, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, guys, so there it is. This thing is in here. All I need to do is make these bolts a little shorter so that cover can fit on top of it. And as you can see, the gear is right next to the metal. So what I need to do is find a piece of metal to weld so that it can support the gear bar, and then weld that piece there, mount the infrared sensor here, make a channel here covered with cement after I run the wires through there, and weld another piece here so that it can communicate with the one over there. Yeah. Okay. We'll see what we can get done today, because last night it just rained big time, the wind. Oh, yeah. And I left underneath here is the two infrared sensors. I left them out. It doesn't seem like they got wet, but I put a little bucket on top of there just in case. And if they got wet and don't work, well, I guess we'll go without them, as long as the gate goes back and forth and everybody is on their own. Get out of the way when the gate is moving. But it should be okay. All right, let me go look for some metal and prep it and all that, and then one of these days weld it on here. All right. Okay, so there's that thing right there. That is where the sensor is going to mount. Now the reason it's so big is because it has to match this thing that's sticking out here. You have to account the thickness of this and the space here. And then here I welded that piece there. That is where the gear bar is going to go. Now when you open this door, this will go and hit that over there, and then this space here is less than what I had said. Little by little it'll get done. We'll see what happens. Okay, so here we're at it again. We're gonna take this wire here, this red wire, and run two of them on this thing that I just made here, and it'll come out and go to this. So what we'll do is we'll set the height of this, and then this one over here will have the same height so that they can match from here to there.
This wire for what? For sensor?
Yes, for the sensors, for the infrared sensor. So if the gate is moving, and a dog, a kid, you, whoever, dinosaur goes across with it, it'll stop.
If they fly,
Huh? If they fly, well, they're pretty quick if they're flying. Unless it's a helicopter that's gonna stay there, then it'll crash and burn. All right, so you take and you sweep this thing all here, and let me go get the drill so I can do some pilot holes over there and at this other end down here, and we'll mount those things. All right. Okay, so what we did, you need this thing.
Okay. Here, let me do it.
Yeah, you do it. Okay, so what we did is we took some of that plastic piping like this, and we fed one wire, taped it to the other two, and then pulled it through. However, right now we have to find the end of this thing. There it is. And now we need to untape it to get to the two wires and rehook them up to the sensor. Okay. So now I'm going to hook it up to the sensor, and here.
attach to here.
Well, I will attach it to that, but first I have to attach it to this. See those holes here? That's where it's gonna go. Okay, so I had it marked. What I did is I cut the piece off the other one to make sure that it goes back in number one. Here, let me drop this before I mix them up. Okay, so now pull on this pull on this pull on this wire at the other end so I can put this all yeah, just make sure that it stays like that when we put the cement. That's okay. I'll just put a cement hole, it'll be okay. Actually, I should probably leave it a little bit of a slack in here.
Yeah, you can do like that.
Right there. Okay.
Or can you take the no
No. I'm gonna put a
tape? Oh, you can tape on it.
no. I have a little ratchet strap, a little I don't remember.
Table tie.
A cable tie. Couldn't think of the word. I'll just put this here. Keep it where I want, and then when I put the cement, it'll hold it like right there.
Okay.
Here, roll that thing up right there.
Okay. Time to put the concrete back.
Yeah. And then later, this is not the final thing, because later we're either going to put a pea gravel drive here or tile or something. I don't know. We haven't made up our minds about that, but this is not the final thing. This is just to protect the wire. Okay, so here we are running into a bit of a problem. The bar, the gear bar that goes here is actually right close to this, but because it has a bolt in there, it won't clear. So this is in, the cement, the concrete should set sometime tomorrow. The sensor is in here. So all I need to do is cut those little things, and I'll show them to you in a minute, and put the electricity on here, which I don't want to do until the very end. Let me show you this bar. Here, Woon's gonna bring it. So right now, what's happening is this is just right on the edge of that 2x4 on the side over there, and then when it comes to here, the bolt hits. So it would just be too much problems to try to cut that. So instead, what I'm going to do is take this off of here, flip it around, and put the screw in here, and then cut this much here, which is about the same as this, which is about the same as the bolt. But on this side here, I'm going to cut it here so it comes in, which in turn will actually pull away from that
How
fence
many
pole.
you need to cut? Only this bar?
No,
All of it?
I need to cut
4
12.
of it?
I have to cut 12 of those bolts.
Really?
Yeah, but I'll do it tomorrow. It's too late to do that now.
Okay.
But we've waited all these years to put this thing in here, so a few more days it'll be okay. Ain't that right, One? Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow I'll do that. Right now, it's probably about 6 or so. Yeah. Now, this here was a big obstacle, so that's done. So that's good. Okay, guys, so here we are. After a lot of headaches and guessing and what have you, finally got it. The problem I was having is that this rail here and this gear that's in here kept going out and in and this and that, and I finally figured out that this bottom C3 here, sitting on this rail for the gate, is not level. So as you can see, this rail is kind of higher than the C3 as you go towards that side. The other thing is, the spacing that goes in here where it got welded, as it goes out that way, is also wider. So yeah, that was a big thing there, because I couldn't figure out what was happening. I kept taking this motor, sliding it in, sliding it out, and what have you. So now the only thing I need to do is I need to take care of these wires that are coming out here. And what I've got to do for that is I've got to take this off, and pull the wires through and reconnect them and shorten them. I'm going to show you how this thing is running. Now this infrared here, I don't think it's working properly. We have some kind of instructions, but they're in Thai, and Woon hasn't translated it for me. It's been raining a lot, so as you can see, all of this is wet here. We've had some hellacious winds come through, and just there was no way that I could sit here and work on this thing. But right now, I believe. Oh, one more thing. Here you have, yeah, right there. This little magnet here is what actually stops the motor as it opens and closes. Now, I kept putting them both on the top, and this side didn't want to stop. What I figured out is that one has to be on top and the other one has to be on the bottom, so that you get something similar to this. What you have here is you have a switch on, off. Same thing with this. As the magnet goes through, one will trigger the on and one will trigger the off. Well, they both trigger the off, but at the motor itself, it'll trigger two different switches, one for the open and one for the close. So you need to have a magnet that's up high for one and one low for the other. So anyway, yeah, that's so there it is. I don't know if it goes any faster. Maybe this afternoon when one gets home, she can read that and let me know. So that stops there. Oh, the other thing I was having problems with here, well, not a big major problem, but this thing here, the gate was hitting here and jamming. So I gave it some very technical beatings and bent that ear out a little bit. It seems to be getting through, so hopefully it'll continue to stay lined up. Now this automatic gate will come in very handy because there's a lot of rain, so now you can actually stay in the car and just open and close. Yeah, there it is. Ta-da! Okay guys, we got this thing working. Now we just have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. And later on, there's a gate over there that is even bigger than this. I would like to put a motor on that one also. Now that one over there has all the wiring and everything just like this one here. And yeah, so now it's just a matter of buying another motor, and you know, once I figure this one out, that one should go faster unless it rains and rains and rains and rains. This is the first time that we've actually had sun in, oh, quite a few days. And normally you get a day or two like this, and then you get tons and tons of rain. But that's okay. It's all part of nature, and there's absolutely nothing you could do. All right, I will update you if after Woon translates and reads those instructions for me. If there's any changes, I will definitely let you know. All right, see you. Okay, here comes one. And there's the gate. And this will be the first time that you did it. Here, go back up in here. But we're not gonna try it with the gate open because one has to read all the instructions for me. So yeah. So right now, this way, this way. Okay, straight back.
Good job. Thank you.
I see a lot of smiling.
Proud of you.
Hey, more.
Move back more.
Yeah. Okay, okay. All right, so there was the first time.
And then I going to press to close the door. Yay!
Good job.
Thank you. So proud of you.
Okay.
Oi.
So the thing we need to keep an eye on is that tab right there. I took and I beat it because it was bent. But right now it's going in there. I'm gonna bend it some more, but I need to get the sledgehammer from the chicken coop. All right.
All right.
And you can close it up so you don't hit the buttons by accident.
Wow.
All right, so there it is, guys.
job.
Now, like I said before,
You know what? Them charge you for what? 36,000 for
Good.
install and everything.
yeah,
But we buy this motor from the Shopee, 4,800, huh?
4,000 something, I don't remember.
Yeah, 4,000 something. Let me show you.
Yeah. So one is going to read those instructions for me, and if there's anything that needs to be changed or adjusted or whatever, I will update you later. But it was quite a challenge doing it with no instructions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of trial and error and a lot of guessing. Now there are some instructions, but they're in Thai, and somebody did not read them to me.
Yeah, you-
Translate them for me.
Here.
Just tell me.
Show you.
Oh, just tell me.
4,089 baht.
Okay, so where does it say 1,400? Oh, 400.
And shipping is 240.
Okay, so actually for 4,249 baht, it was delivered to the house.
Yeah. You save about almost 30,000, huh?
So I saved about 30,000 on this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see how.
Now it took a long time because of the rain, because of the guessing, because of the trial and error, because of a lot of
But the
because.
next one gonna be
Oh,
quicker.
yeah,
We're gonna do on the big gate, right?
yeah. So now the plan is, once we get this thing working and we try it out for a week or two, a month, whatever, we'll order one for the other side over there. Let me see if you can see the gate from here.
It's a long gate. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
Double from this, huh? No, not.
yeah.
this
So
one.
there's that gate, almost double. Not quite, but it's pretty long. It's this is like 4 meters, so that's probably. You know what? I think it's 6 meters. This one is 4. I think that one is 6. I don't know. It was a long time ago since we put it together. So, yeah. More keys, more keys.
Yep.
So anyway, all right. We'll update you as we do it. See you guys. Are you happy, one?
Yes, so this is my birthday present.
This is your birthday present coming up.
Uh-huh.
This way you don't
The
have to.
key is not the car, is
Yes, to put the car in there without getting out with all the rain. When it snows. Oh, okay. Hey, rain and snow. It just
Yep,
hasn't been
yep.
frozen yet.
Yep.
So that's very convenient because if I'm in the back, you don't have to wait for me. You just hit the thing and come on in.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
Bye. Someone's happy.
Yeah.
Watching.
ขอบคุณเจ้า
See you next time.
แล้วปะกันแฮมไมนะเจ้า
See you.
บ๊ายบาย